Hey, what's up guys, it's time to do a camera test comparison between the Galaxy S20 Plus versus the iPhone 11 Pro. I know the Ultra has all the cloud, but Samsung says there is no compromise on the camera quality, and if that's true, then let's find that out. So Galaxy S20 Plus rocks a 12 megapixel sensor, which is bigger than last year's flagship. It's got a 64 megapixel wide lens. Yes, it's not a telephoto lens, it's a proper wide lens that can also assist in zooming and recording 8K footage. Then there is a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle lens plus a depth sensor. So first I'm going to start with the night shots. Night mode is improved a lot and it works similar on both phones. Handheld it can go up to 10 seconds, but if you have it stabilized then both phones can do up to 30 seconds. So in my testing, the iPhone always produced brighter photos with less grain because of the aggressive noise reduction, whereas Samsung has visible noise but it's a bit more detailed. All in all, it seems to me that in the night mode photos, Samsung has closed the gap compared to the previous generation. The Galaxy S20 Plus can also do night mode in front camera as well, which the iPhone can't. So if you want to take a super dark selfie, the Galaxy wins. Okay guys, shooting indoor with the S20 Plus in 8K resolution. This is 30 frames per second. Obviously I'm going to be rendering it out in 4K, but the quality is looking really sharp. This is indoor environment. Same goes with the autofocus. Okay, now testing the 4K 30 FPS indoor video on the iPhone. This is in good lighting condition. I have two lamps as well as one light focused on the object. Checking out the focus. You can see it's really fast. All right, now I've turned off some lights just to see the low light performance. I just have this lamp in the background, and you can see it is still looking pretty good. A little bit of noise I can see right now, but still looking pretty sharp. 8K 30 FPS. 4K 30 FPS on the iPhone, indoor, low light, just have this lamp in the background. Checking out the focus. It's actually really fast. This is an extreme night test of the iPhone versus the Galaxy S20 Plus. I'm currently shooting 8K on the S20 Plus versus 4K on the iPhone. This is pretty dark right now, and I have to say I can see a little bit more noise on the Galaxy S20 Plus compared to the iPhone, which has a really strong noise reduction going on. Again, you guys can see the difference as well. Now before I show you the outdoor shots, here is the 12 megapixel versus 64 megapixel difference in the image quality. Yes, this does make a difference, and if you're outside with a lot of light, you should use 64 megapixel mode on the S20 Plus. According to Ice Universe, this is as sharp as the 108 image sensor of the S20 Ultra. Obviously I'll test that out once I have that phone. Now compared to the iPhone, the images are slightly more vibrant, but they look very similar. The 64 megapixel images of the S20 Plus are definitely sharper than the 12 megapixel images of the iPhone. The numbers do prove them in real life. You can zoom 6 times in 64 megapixel mode, which still produces very sharp enough results, or you can go up to 30x with some grainy looking result, but not as grainy as 100x. On the other hand, the iPhone can only do up to 2x zoom, and you can do the softer 10x zoom, but it can't really compete at that level because it doesn't have that hardware. Once again, 64 megapixel in outdoor will push S20 Plus better than any phone in sharpness. Colors are nice on both phones. Switching to the ultra wide angle lens, very similar color profile, but upon zooming in, we do have a little bit more detail on the S20 Plus images. Now when it comes to the close-up shots, the 64 megapixel doesn't do that good because the focus isn't as razor sharp as the 12 megapixel sensor. It doesn't have that tracking focus. So for the close-up, I use the 12 megapixel sensor, and I really like the colors. It is more contrasty, slightly more vibrant compared to the iPhone, which is a bit plain but does give you a lot of room to play with when it comes to the editing. Another 64 MP image, and cropping in, you can see more detail on Samsung's side. Here is the result at 6x zoom and all the way up to 20x. Samsung has done a great job by adding a high resolution sensor. I feel like Apple should add something like that in the future with its next iPhone upgrade. It does certainly make a difference. When it comes to the indoor images, when you don't have as much light, you should use the 12 megapixel mode on Samsung. You can see even in the 12 megapixel mode, it is tiny bit sharper than the iPhone. Now for the portrait mode, both phones can do it with wide and zoom lens. The 64 megapixel lens crops in on the Galaxy S20 Plus and does a pretty good job. iPhone does a bit better in sharpness if we zoom in on the details because it has an actual proper optical zoom, but still really close. The colors are soft on the iPhone, whereas on the S20 Plus they are a bit contrasty and vibrant. Switching to the wide portrait lens, and once again we have same kind of color differences, and upon zooming in, we have about the same sharpness on both phones. Overall, both phones are doing a great job with subject separation. Samsung definitely has stepped up the game. Alright guys, testing out the camera in the 4K mode on both phones, and you can see the colors are definitely looking a lot more vibrant on the Galaxy S20 Plus, and on the iPhone side things are looking, I would say, close to natural, but I don't know, you might like the colors on the Samsung a bit more because they really do pop a lot. And you can also hear my voice, testing out the microphone as well. Both phones allow for ultra wide angle switch, so this is pretty good. As far as the zoom is concerned, you can do 2x zoom lossless on the iPhone. You can do 3x on the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus. You can go up to 6x on the iPhone with the software, whereas with the Galaxy you can go all the way up to 12x, which is really good. Again, this is in the video mode. When it comes to photos, you can go up to the 30x option, which is pretty good. And look at how seamlessly both devices switch between their zoom and ultra wide angle modes. Looks really good. Now for the video, the S20 Plus can shoot 8K 24fps and 4K 30fps, 4K 60fps, a lot of video options. iPhone on the other hand offers 4K 60 as the highest, then 4K 30, then 1080p options below that. The 8K video is legit sharp on S20, but it does have 24fps, so it doesn't feel as smooth as a 30fps video recording. Also, the autofocus is good, but isn't razor sharp like the one in 4K 30fps mode on Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus, so it's still insane to have this quality of video coming from a smartphone sensor. Truly amazing. Now for the front camera, I would say it's a great performance on both devices. You can shoot 4K 30, 4K 60 fps. You can legit vlog on these bad boys, like no problem. I really like both of them. With the front camera selfies, you get a bit of a wider field of view on the Galaxy S20 Plus in the portrait mode compared to the iPhone. Once again, colors on the Galaxy S20 Plus pop slightly more than the iPhone, but overall I really like the colors and look of the selfies on both phones. This is one area where I think the Ultra's 40 megapixel selfie will make a major difference, but the 10 megapixel selfies of S20 are pretty good nonetheless. All in all, I would say Samsung has closed the gap. Zoom games are on the next level. 64 megapixel is a nice weapon to have. The main 12 megapixel sensor is better than before. 8K video is legit great. iPhone, in my opinion, held up pretty good, especially when you talk about the video performance in night mode and in dark conditions. The software noise reduction is pretty good on the iPhone compared to the S20 Plus. It cannot do 8K but still produce one of the best 4K footage on any smartphone. It just doesn't have the hardware to compete with the Galaxy S20 family when it comes to zoom and recording higher video footage from 4K to 8K. Overall, Samsung is right that the image quality is not sacrificed if you go with the S20 or S20 Plus, unless you want 10x zoom or 100x zoom to impress your friends, or the 40 megapixel selfie mode, then Ultra is the way to go. The 64 megapixel images are pretty sharp. I would test them out against the 108 megapixel images of the S20 Ultra to see if you have that extra bit of sharpness there, but according to iUniverse, the difference is pretty similar. But yeah, in comparison to the iPhone, this was fun to make. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think the iPhone did great? Which one do you like more? And if you guys don't know already, the giveaway for the Galaxy S20 and S20 Ultra is live on the channel, as well as the Galaxy Buds Plus, so links for that in the description below. Subscribe if you're new here, because I'll be making a lot more content on these devices, as well as the Galaxy Z Flip, which is coming really soon to the studio. So stay tuned for all of that content. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.